In the technological age that we live in, video games have become a way of life and have garnered their own place in society. Specifically, MMORPGs. Wait, that ain't right. MMORPGs, which stands for Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Games. Individuals dedicate their lives and sometimes live vicariously through their intangible avatars. For people who play these games, there's a thin line between traveling magical lands and battling fantastical creatures and dealing with pressures of everyday life. But what happens when the virtual world collides with the real world and affects your relationship with loved ones? We'll find out in For Love or the Game. Before we get started, let's go over some terminology that'll be useful in the following minutes. WoW, or World of Warcraft. Perhaps the most recognizable MMORPG in the world, it currently has over 11.5 million subscribers. Raid, where a large group of players battle together to achieve a common goal. Our journey begins with Robert and Lori Lockhart, owners of a local pizza establishment and couple for well over a decade.
I mean, the games now compared to the games before are a little bit more advanced, so I think that the age thing really doesn't come to play. It's more of an adult thing. I think the game I play, at least. WoW, World of Warcraft. In the instance of me and my wife, we work together, so, we're together through the day, all day. So by the time we get home, she's ready for me to go do my thing, and I'm ready for her to go do her thing. So I think it would be different if we weren't working together, I believe so. If I'm particularly frustrated with something that's going on in the game and she happens to hit me with something while I'm playing it at that time, it tends to kind of boil over because you're focused on the game, and then you got, a woman in the background kind of yapping at you and whatever. If you have a time sink, if you want a hobby, play it. But if you're in school or if you're if you've got a job that requires a lot of your time, I would say no. I would not play it, honestly.
World of Warcraft has affected my relationship because it takes up all of his time, and anytime I ask him to help do anything, he'll say yes, but he doesn't help. He doesn't pay attention. I ask him a question, and I get a response, but 5 minutes later, he says, "You didn't ask me that. You didn't say that." I go to bed alone because he gets into these raids, and he says, "Honey, I have to finish this raid. It's not fair if I just bail on these people." I believe that they should have WoW Anonymous because the men get so addictive into this game that it becomes number one in their lives, and they schedule everything around these raids. It's not just my husband, but it's all the men in his guild. Wives, ban your husbands from starting WoW.
I haven't been given an ultimatum. Until I've been given an ultimatum, I'm going to play the game. If she gives me an ultimatum, says quit playing WoW or I'm going to leave you, then of course I would drop the game because my wife and my kids are the most important thing to me. But until that happens, I'm a WoW head.
We make our way now to Sevierville, Tennessee to meet up with Matthew Holmes, another avid MMORPGer.
I ended up playing for 2.5 years. And in those 2.5 years, when I sold my account, when I thought I was done with it, I ended up looking at the played time. It was a little over 200 days. And that was 200 days of me sitting at my computer in 2.5 years.
Let's do the math right here for a second, folks. 200 days times 24 hours equals 4,800 hours, or 288,000 minutes of gameplay.
The first time that I quit World of Warcraft was over somebody, and that didn't end up working out. She ended up ripping my heart out, and the only way that I could get back into feeling normal and feeling right again was to start World of Warcraft just right up again. This time for about a year. But then at that point, getting into it, the game was starting to drag on me a little bit. Right about when that started, I ended up meeting with the person who I am with right now. I have been with her for about 5 months at this point, but I played World of Warcraft for the first couple months that I was with her. But eventually it started to become a choice. Do I want to go hang out with her? Do I want to go be with her? Or do I want to sit at my computer and raid for 8 hours that night? What kills me is that basically it was a choice between 40 people online that I considered to be my friend, or the person I cared about. And that's what killed me. It was 40 against 1, and it was a hard choice. but ended up quitting World of Warcraft again. And to this point, I still miss it. I still regret it a little bit. I miss the people, and I miss the contact that I got with them online. It was pretty cool that I ended up finding a girl that would actually play video games with me.
And finally, we meet up with David Matthews to give us a different perspective on the subject for love or the game.
We were dating, and she didn't know I played, so I kind of kept it a secret, you know. Then later on, we got more serious stuff. She moved in, and it became more apparent, like, she wanted to go do stuff like go out and stuff, and I said I couldn't. I got a raid, or I gotta. She wants to like watch TV shows or something like that, just anything to spend time with me, and I was just too drawn into the game, and it was the downfall of the relationship. I chose the game over her. Did it cause any fights between us? Constantly, like every single day. The way we had it worked out was there's a situation where she set up a plan so I can play and still spend time with her. She said you can play, say, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but off nights we do something. I don't regret it, and if I had to do it over again, it'd probably be the same outcome. If you're already playing, you're pretty much sunk, but if you're not playing yet, don't start. It's like a drug.
So you've seen the effects that video gaming can have on a relationship and the strain it puts on it. But if you yourself fall into this category, remember, you may be forced to make the ultimate decision to choose between love or the game. Good night.